Greetings. Today is Wednesday, November 29th. And today I had the most emotional roller coaster of energy going on. And I had a neighbor call me and needed some comfort, some support, and my carpentry skills to help her with a relative who was not responding to calls or text messages. So everybody's assuming that she's passed. Wellness call, no answer to the door. So go over there, drive her over there or whatnot, and knock on the door. Nobody answers. Walk around. And this is a house that I put all the burglar bars on and burglar doors up. So it's only two windows that don't have burglar doors on, burglar bars on. So we're waiting for the police to get there. I am able to pry the window open and get into the house. Well, for entry into the house. As soon as the window opens up, you smell the smell of death, and it's like a smell that you just do not forget, right? So neighbor breaks down. It's her cousin, so I'm having to comfort her while she's on the phone with the niece of her cousin. And it's like the one that's deceased, that's obviously deceased at this point, is 75 years old. The officer finally gets there shortly after, goes in, confirms death. She was found on the floor, and coroner gets there. We close the house back up, pour bleach all over the place and all the water things to try and help get the smell out of death, and lock the house up. And it was just a moment of like, wow, this is a first. I've never really had to, break into a house for someone who was dead. And I was thankful that the Holy Spirit helped me to take the least damaging, entry point. Of course, I, secured the window back after, obtaining access. But it's like, okay, it's about to be freezing, so need to empty the water out the drains, out the lines, so the pipes don't freeze. Turn the water off on a city street, at the street, spray Lysol all over the place. Thank God there was a lot of Lysol there. She was obviously very adamant about, sanitizing spray, a lot of bleach and, Lysol all over the house. And, the body was decomposed and bloated, and the neighbors were there. So it was just being a comfort. And I'm pretty much the only male in the circle other than the police officer, the I don't want to say coroner, the medical examiner who had to come. Couldn't go in the house till after the medical examiner went in. And just looking at, the biggest thing was this person died alone. Don't know if they suffered or whatever. It was just like this person died alone. And the only time I ever really thought about that was listening to or reading an article about Andre 3000 when he talked about one of his parents, his father that had died alone. And it was like, it just kind of hit home, because in family, we always have somebody who's living by themselves or whatever. And I made a point to make sure that I regularly contact people who live alone, especially older people, just people. And that, over the summer, I had a friend who had a heart condition that he could have died from. It wasn't a heart attack, but I forget what it was called, but he had a heart condition. And it was just like, man, how many of us have chosen this lifestyle to be alone because we can't get it right with anybody, because we don't know how to get along. We don't know how to be a companion on either side. We don't know how to find the pause button with arguments. We don't know how to just recognize that you hurt this person and this person is hurt, and not give them that care of saying, I understand that you're hurt right now. And we push so many people into these boxes of just being alone. And just going into that house and just knowing she died alone. Nobody there to comfort her, whether she was sick or what have you, whatever was going on. And I think about, like, my family is pretty tight and we've always had people there for us. And you just think about, man, dying is what it is, but dying alone with nobody there, no daughter, family that's out of state. The only relative was the cousin that was my neighbor, who, and I knew of the cousin because I did work on the house, when she first moved in or whatever. And it was just like, man, this is like the third customer that I've served up until their death. And most of them had family around. And, well, two of them, one had family around off and on, but, I'll never forget when my grandmama died, walking in and just seeing that dead body, and just gone. So the purpose of this post is to say, check on people that you know are by themselves. If you call them your friend, stop making petty things bigger than they need to be. Make the apology. Love your parents. Go see about them. Aunts, uncles, whoever. Nobody deserves to die alone.